Happy 4th of July weekend. We are going to be collaborating with this week's guest to do something extra special for all of you amazing listeners. Make sure to head over to our Instagram at Unashamedly You and find out all the details and how you can win this collaboration. And do not forget to enter our summer contest that we are doing as well. When you share our podcast to your social media, tag us, and you are automatically entered to win an Unashamedly You tumbler. This community was created to bring encouragement to you, and you are giving it to so many others by sharing a podcast that has helped or blessed you. We are so grateful to be in this amazing community together. Hello, and welcome to the Unashamedly You podcast, a space to enlighten, encourage, and empower you to go out and unashamedly be who God is calling you to be. I am your host, Jamie Herndon. I pray you hear less of me and more of Him as you listen to today's episode. Let's grow together. Today's guest is a friend of mine, and I have been following her social accounts for a while. And then we got to meet in person, which is always so much fun to meet the people that you feel like you already know so much about through social media and then to have that personal connection. She is an inspiration to so many people and to so many young ladies. She's doing amazing things for the kingdom of God, and I am so excited to have her on. I know that you are all going to love getting a chance to hear from her. Mandy Bowen, welcome to the Unashamedly You podcast. Just take a moment and tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, well, it's an honor to be here, and I don't feel like I live up to any of that introduction, but I really do appreciate that. If you don't know me already, my name is Mandy Bowen. I'm 28 years old. I'm a pastor's wife and a mom, and I love doing social media, and that's just kind of become my little thing now.
And your social media account has grown to so much, which has been so exciting to watch and to see. So you run a social media account now called MBS Hair with Style, and it has grown to be a success, sharing hairstyles, modest inspiration, days in the life of a preacher's wife, which those are kind of newer, and I absolutely love watching those. They're a lot of fun. I love that you add your daughter in on those as well. What first inspired you to kind of start sharing your hair and those outfits online?
Well, I started posting, I think, in 2018 after my first son was born because I kind of wanted, like, when you were in the throes of motherhood, like, you kind of just felt like, I felt like I had lost a piece of myself in a way, and I wanted to kind of get that back. And I would get people stop me all the time, and they'd be like, "Hey, how do you do?" Like, I would normally wear my hair up like this, and the ladies would ask me, like, I wish that I had somebody to watch because not everybody has the super long hair that you do that posts videos like that on Facebook and stuff. So she was like, "Well," they were like, "I would love to see somebody like that and know how you do that." So I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna do it one day. I'm just gonna post it and just see what happens." And I posted my first tutorial, and it just kinda really took off, and I got a lot of good response, so I just kinda kept making them, and it kinda just blossomed into what it is today.
I agree. I love that so much about because you have such long hair. I have such long hair, and I watch your inspiration all the time, your tutorials and all the things, and I don't try them, but I really want to. I'm
Oh.
like, man, if I had, if I would give myself more time to get ready instead of 30 minutes, then I might could try
Yeah.
something new. But it is really inspiring to watch you be able to do all those things. Did you ever imagine that it would grow the way that it did? And kind of what was your original goal?
Absolutely not. I would have never dreamed that it was gonna be what it is today. I think when I started, I didn't even have a goal, to be honest. Like I said, I was just really doing it for the ladies who had the longer hair because normally when somebody would post a hair tutorial, they would have like mid-length hair, and that style wouldn't work for somebody that's hair is almost down to their knees. So I just really didn't have a goal. I just was doing it just to help out fellow apostolic ladies with long uncut hair. And now that it's grown, like, I don't even think still to this day that I have truly grasped the reach that it's gotten. like, I'm starting to get recognized in, like, my hometown. Like, I'll get stopped at the gas station just the other day. I was literally pumping gas, and the workers were outside, taking their little smoke break, and they hollered out, and they was like, "Hey, we heard you're famous." And I was like, "Me? Like, you got me confused with somebody else." And they're like, "No, no, you came across my For You page on TikTok." And then the lady was telling them, she's like, "Yeah, that girl's not cut her hair in 28 years. She's never cut it." And it's just so funny, and I still don't know what to do in those kind of public interactions because it just catches me off guard every time. Even at Walmart, there's a sweet little door greeter. I was walking in one day and she flagged me down and she was like, "Hey, I knew I saw you from somewhere. You came across my TikTok and all this stuff." She's like, "I just can't believe you're in my hometown." And I'm actually trying to get her to come to church, and one day she will. But it's really just turned into like one of those ministry outreach things because, like I said, it's become not only in my local town, but even like one of my last videos, it's gotten like 3 million views, and it's like people's commented from Africa and from Scotland even, and I mean, just, like, all these places, like, it's gone worldwide at this point, and it blows my mind, so I don't think I have truly grasped the reach just yet, but it has been truly phenomenal to watch it just take off and blossom like it has.
It's definitely so inspiring to watch and to see, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but you even went through some things, and the fact that it's still now coming back and that it's doing so amazing. I'm so proud of you. I love hearing that.
Thank you.
So funny that they're like, "She hasn't cut her hair in 28 years."
Oh my gosh, yes, and, like, the other day, I was at my Dollar General, and one of the lady in front of me at the checkout, she turned around, and I knew it was coming because she would just turn around and look at me, and then she'd go back to her, and then she'd look at me, and then she finally had, like, worked up the courage, and she's like, "I think I follow you on TikTok," and I was like, "Probably," and she's like, "Yeah," and she started quoting my introduction to the video. She's like, "Yeah, I'm 28 years old, and I'm a Pentecostal preacher's wife, and I've never cut my hair," and I'm just like I was like, "Man, you've got it down to a science, don't you?" She's like, "Oh, yeah, I just love it." And it used to be where it would just be the apostolic ladies who would stop me out in public, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, girl," like, because it's easier to, like, talk to an apostolic lady. And now it's become, like, non-apostolics, and that's what I love because it really has become, like, an outreach opportunity and a conversation starter where normally I would just walk in public and nobody would even look my way, but now they are, and it's become not just a thing where like, "Oh, yeah, you do your hair and stuff," but it's become like, "Oh, wow, I had no idea that there was even an apostolic church like that in my area." And so, like I said, I've not got anybody to come to church yet, but I'm working on it.
It is definitely coming. I believe it. That's so
Mhm.
awesome. Was there a moment when you realized that people were actually really connecting with the things that you were sharing?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I really started to do it for like the apostolic ladies with the longer hair, and I knew that that was like reaching them. But whenever I started to use the tagline at the beginning of my videos, I have two different introductions that I use for like if it's a strictly just a hair video, then I'll post like I'm 28 years old and my hair has never been cut or trimmed, yada yada yada. And that really makes people, like, stop their scroll because that's just so unheard of these days, and they're like, "Whoa, like, she's never cut her hair, like, what?" And that really makes them stop and watch it, and it's very intriguing for them, and they always ask, "What is the reason behind it?" And so I'm able to kinda get into that. I don't get into it a whole lot because people it just becomes like a debate battle, like, "Oh, well, the scripture, that's not what it means, you're interpreting it wrong." So I've tried to, like, be very cautious of how I word things because I don't want my comment section to become that, like, debate and battleground because that's kinda defeats the whole purpose. So I've had to really kind of navigate that and kinda word it in a way like, "Oh, it's personal and biblical reasons, and I would love to continue this conversation in a private DM if you want to," like, stuff like that. So people connect on it in that way, and then, like, another introduction that I'll use is I'm a 28-year-old pastor's Pentecostal pastor's wife for 3 kids. That makes people stop their scroll too. I've, connected to a lot of other young preacher wives, and they've commented or they've sent me DMs, and they're like, "Watching you do it, it makes me feel like, anytime I'm discouraged, like, oh, I know somebody else out there is in the struggle bus too, getting 3 kids ready on Sunday and getting to church, and they're still doing it." And I try to keep my stuff positive and because I am a pretty positive person, but I want it to be like, she's doing this not out of obligation, but because she's genuinely happy and she's joyful. And if I can turn my everyday life into, instead of just a routine or obligation, and turn it into a passion and something that I'm really excited about, then maybe I can too. So that's why I tried to like really connect with the audience. And I, like I said, I want this, and it has become a ministry, not just a fun little page where I post tutorials and outfit inspirations, but I really have tried to make that personal one-on-one connection with the viewers.
You've definitely done that, it's for sure. You can see it just in the way that people interact with you and the way that anyone that's listening to this, if you follow her, then you know exactly what she's talking about with that. How did your content begin to gain traction? Like, was there a specific post or a season that really had sparked growth for you?
Well, I think I think what really took it off is maybe 2 years ago, I posted a video strictly about my uncut hair. That was my first ever video to get over 1,000,000 views, and I think that that is honestly what jump started this on, because like I said, I've been posting content since, I think I said 2018. It was right after my first kid was born. So I've been posting since 2018, and I was just kinda getting, like, mediocre views and nothing crazy, but I think the last 2 years, it's really took off on TikTok, especially since I started that tagline, "I'm 28 years old, never cut or trimmed my hair," and that has really just stuck, and that's why on a lot of my videos, I started out with that tagline, and I'm sure my current followers are, like, so sick of hearing me say that, but it really does, for anybody that is new that's seeing it, it kinda introduces myself to them, and like I said, it stops their scroll and it really catches their attention. So I think within the last 2 years, it has really took off in that perspective.
I absolutely love that you say that. I do not get tired of seeing that on your video. I love that you say that every time because something that I've often said is, "Where are our apostolic young people?"
Yeah,
They're online, that's where
exactly.
everyone is
Yes.
online, and our apostolics are too, whether it be Pinterest, Instagram, all the new apps that I
Mhm.
can keep up with. Ada's like, "There's this and there's this," and told her, I said, "I'm sorry, I have a hard enough time keeping up with all your text messages that you're sending to your friends.
Yeah,
I cannot go through apps too, we cannot even go there. They're
exactly.
not as much on Facebook, so I won't really mention that."
Yeah.
But I have said that so often, they're there, so please, please, as a mom of 2 daughters, I am begging you, if you have a burden and you are apostolic and you wanna show things on an account, whether it's hairstyles, outfit inspiration, those are the things that are definitely for
Absolutely.
looking up, singing, playing the piano, anything that you're doing out there, and if you're doing it unto God and as a ministry, get on there, show it, show that account because there is someone that's looking at you and they're gonna be inspired by something and by someone.
Mhm.
Why not allow it to be an apostolic?
100%. Yes, I agree completely.
How do you balance creativity with consistency as your platform begins to grow? I know personally that's not easy. Anyone that's posting on social media knows if you just follow these accounts, you think that oh, they're just so creative. That is not how it works. And if they
No.
just have time to be consistent, they do not have any more time than you do, probably less. So, how do you
Mhm.
balance all those things? Because someone that's listening to this is doing that and they need to know.
Well, when I started in 2018 on Instagram, it was just Instagram and Facebook. There was no, well, maybe TikTok was around, but I didn't even have a TikTok account then. But whenever I started, it was just pictures. Like people would just post pictures. Reels was not even a thing. Videoing wasn't even a thing. So it was a lot easier back then because you just would snap a few pictures and then post it and then you were done. Nowadays, my word, to get somebody's attention, you've gotta do, like, a whole, like, daily vlog and, like, you gotta come up with catchy taglines, and then you don't wanna run that tagline through the mud, like, I feel like I've run all of my taglines through the mud at this point, but, like, it is hard because you have to keep the person's interest, you don't wanna be just giving them the same type of content. So, it is definitely hard, and I lack motivation on most days, and I don't know, I try to keep it creative. I try, like, today, like, I'm posting this daily vlog and I'm incorporating the podcast into it and everything because I am a stay-at-home mom, so I feel like I really don't have a life outside of just staying at home with the kids, so I really don't have anything to post except for on Sundays and Wednesdays when I do go to church. So, it's hard, but, you just you gotta find something that works and stick with it. It's kinda like fishing, like, you just throw out a line and pray that something sticks and something bites, and if it does, you keep on using that same bait and you just keep on running with it until you can't anymore, so I kinda feel like that's where I'm at right now. I'm just running with it as long as I can.
Well, it's obviously working. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
So I had mentioned earlier, something had happened with your account. Your old account was completely taken down, just
Yes.
wiped from you. And
Mhm.
I don't know, did you ever even know what happened with that?
No, to this day, I have no idea.
So essentially, you woke up and there's another post being shared saying, like, my account is gone. That's no longer me. Here I am. How did that affect you? And was it ever tempting to just say, you know what, forget it? I ran an account for a little while. I showed some inspiration for a little while, but I'm not doing this all over again.
Oh my word. I know this is gonna sound so crazy, but, like, my Instagram account, it had, like, 22.4 thousand followers, I think, and I had built that from literally 0. So and it takes a lot of work, like, it's not just posting, like, you have to constantly stay on top of it, and people don't really realize that, like, whenever they see, like, an influencer or something, they're like, "Oh, that's just, like, a little kiddish hobby or something." It's a lot of work, honestly, and so whenever I woke up, it was, like, around Christmas time, I had woke up and I went on Instagram and it was just gone, like, just like that, just completely swiped away, and I cried, I'm not even gonna lie, I shed tears over that, and I know that sounds so dumb, but whenever you build this community from literally the ground up and it's just gone, like, that's just devastating, and I was heartbroken, and I had even told my husband, like, I was like, You know what? Maybe this is a sign from God, like, maybe I am, like, putting too much focus into this and not into, like, my spiritual life, or maybe it has become, like, one of those distractions, and maybe this was just meant to be, like, I've done my time, like, I went through the season and the season's over, and I just began to pray about it. I was like, I don't want it to be over, like, maybe this did happen for a reason. I don't know still today, I don't know the reason why it happened, but, it really motivated me. I was like, I could just sit back and be like, "Okay, my time is over. It's done. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to build this back up." And then I got to thinking, I was like, there's so many young girls that follow me. Like you said, like, there's so many teenagers online these days. They're gonna follow something. They're gonna be inspired by something. And I was like, I want that to be a godly, holy image that they're seeing. Like, I don't want it to just be where I get discouraged and then I walk away and then they don't have that, and I'm not saying I'm not pinning roses on myself, like, I'm not, like, anything special, but I am somebody that they can watch, and it is clean, it's pure and holy and everything, and so, I was like, I'm just gonna try it again, and if it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work, and I can honestly say, since I have started, it has been totally night and day from, like, the first time I started from now, like, it's so I'm very thankful, and I'm very proud of myself for actually pushing through that and trying and starting over. So, if this is you today and if you are in that feeling of discouragement, like, why even bother? Just get a post, do something, get the content out there, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it don't, it don't. But hopefully it would stick for your sake.
I think the biggest thing about sticking is, like you said earlier, it's like fishing. You keep doing it,
Mhm.
doing it. And consistency is key in
Yes.
everything that we do.
Yes.
Consistency is key. So if you're gonna do this, yes, it's gonna take a long time to get 100 followers, 500 followers, when you
Yep.
break 1,000, but then you just keep being consistent and it'll keep growing. So, what do you feel like that God spoke to you in that season of loss and reset? 'Cause I know that you have said that you feel like that was a time when you were able to grow.
Yeah. So, like I said, I had kind of felt in my heart like maybe it was becoming like a distraction because it is easy whenever your videos are getting views and whenever you're getting the people's comments and stuff, it's easy to get kind of lost in that and kind of consumed in that, and then you get to the point where you're like posting just for that. So I really feel like maybe I was kind of heading in that direction of like the people's validation and everything like that. And so when I decided to start over, I said from the beginning, like, "God, I'm gonna give this to you. Like, it's no longer gonna be about me. Like, it's gonna be about you. And I want it to be more than just the hair and more than just the modest outfit inspos. Like, I want it to become a ministry. I want to reach people through this." And so whenever I started posting again and started gaining a lot of the followers, I was like, I've got this group of mostly teenage girls. Like, so, what could I do? Because, yeah, I want to make living an apostolic life exciting for them, but what about like their spiritual side? So that's kind of where my teen girl devotional book was birthed, if you want to say. Like, I've been in student ministry. My husband and I have been student pastors for 10 years now. And that's kind of like where my heartbeat is. And I wanted to give my own girls something. We were doing a little Bible study and they were just giving me all these questions. And so it started out was like, okay, I'm going to make them a binder. I'm going to give them all these topics that they're giving me. And I'm just going to give some bullet points and scripture references and stuff like that. And I'm going to type it up and I'm just going to give it to them one Sunday as like my little gift to them. And so I was working on that binder one night and I was like, man, this would be incredible if I could just give this to all the girls, not just my little group of girls. And so I reached out to Truth Book Company, they're a publishing company in our um, organization. And, I reached out and I pitched them the idea, and I was like, "Hey, I know you normally do children's books, but would you be interested in doing a teen girl devotional book?" And they loved the idea. I sent them the manuscript. I had actually sent in, I think it was 8 topics, and they emailed back and was like, "Well, why don't you do 12 topics and turn it into like a 12-week Bible study devotional?" So that's what we did. So I went back to the drawing board. I added some more topics and stuff, and it was just kind of we got it published. I got a copy of it right here. We got it published and we got it sent out, and now it's available for everybody on Amazon. And I'm so proud of it because I wanted it, like I said, I wanted to be more than just the hair girl and the outfit girl. Like, I wanted to be able to pour spiritually into the girls' lives, not just on their outward appearance and not them just embracing, the modesty standards and all that, because it's hard in today's society to, like, you stand out when you go in public in a skirt and in a dress. And I mean, you automatically stand out, and that's awkward. That could be awkward for a young teen girl that's going through all these changes and peer pressure, and they're always compared, like, it's a comparison society these days. And I wanted them to embrace the apostolic godly image, but I also wanted them to understand why they were embracing it, and I wanted them to really be able to grow spiritually to so when they did go out in public, they could tackle it because it was already in their spirit. So I know that's kind of a long answer, but that's kind of the gist of why I wanted to get back into it, and that's kind of where I felt God was leading me into this new season, this new chapter of spiritual depthness and pouring that into the lives of the viewers instead of just a hairstyle, if that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense. I absolutely love that. And we'll definitely post all the things about how to get her book. And you know what? One thing that I admire about you is you know your audience.
Mhm.
That's another thing, like, if you know who you're doing something for, so if you are writing a devotional, if you're doing Bible studies, if you're doing a social media account, knowing your audience is so important, knowing who's looking to you, knowing who's wanting this information, and then catering to those people,
Yeah.
and that's something that I feel like that you've done, and you've done really well, obviously, because your account has grown and your books being sold, so that's absolutely incredible. Talk to someone who needs to keep moving. They need that motivation whenever it's feeling overwhelming, slow, maybe even monotonous, but they know that they need to keep going.
Well, like I said, it's very discouraging at times when views are low, when engagement is low. Just keep posting. Like you said, consistency is everything. I started posting in 2018, and it wasn't up until about 2 years ago when my stuff actually began to take off. So it definitely does not happen overnight at all. This has been years in the making. So don't get discouraged. There is somebody out there, even if it's just one person. If you are reaching one mom or one teen girl, whatever you need to do, just keep posting because I promise you, you're making a difference in somebody's life, whether you realize it or not.
Agree completely. I have often told people that I'm coaching, I'm like, would you do this if you helped one person?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, then you need to do it. If the answer is no, like, I don't really wanna do all this work or go into
Yeah.
this or do these posts, if I'm only encouraging one person, then that's probably not the answer for you. It's not what you're really supposed to be doing. But if you're like, "Yes, if I could just encourage one person with what I have,"
Yeah.
then that's what you need to be doing. So what would you say to someone who feels like maybe they've missed their moment or they've lost something that they have built?
Well, it's never too late to post. It's never too late to get started. There is somebody in every single walk of life. There is a woman that I follow, and her name has slipped me, but she's also an author. She's an elder, well, not elderly. I don't want to say that. I don't want to, offend her. But there is an older apostolic lady that I follow on TikTok. She's even wrote a book, and that is so inspiring to me. Like that's who I want to be. Like think of like Vesta Mangan, like all of these older women that are still in their prime, in my opinion. Like, who's gonna carry the torch when they pass on? Start now, carry on that torch now, build yourself up to that point. That's what I want to be. Like, I never want to tap out. I want to always keep growing in my calling and in my ministry. So, no matter what stage of life you're in, there's somebody out there that's in that same stage that you are going to influence. So, don't think that you're too old to post. Don't think that you're too young to post because there's somebody out there that is looking and is searching for that, and you could be the person that gives them to them.
Ministry never quits. It may
Right,
change, it may look different than it does now in the season that you're in another season in 10 years, but it never stops.
right.
We're supposed to stop doing what God is asking you to do and calling you to do, which is to be a light.
Mhm.
Every single one of us are supposed to be a light and we're supposed to be a witness. And
Yeah,
so if you're feeling that, like you said, it's not too late. And if you've started something and you've kind of given up, pick it back up if you feel that.
absolutely.
And if you're feeling that whenever we're talking and you're like, I really need to get back to that, get back to it. We pray that this is
Mhm.
encouraging you to do that.
Yes.
Can you share a time with us when God maybe gave you a specific vision or nudge and you knew that you had to act on it?
So there was a time whenever I had restarted my accounts where I really kind of felt that tug to go a little bit deeper. And that's kind of where my book was born in a way. I knew that I had the majority of teen girls as my audience that was following me. And I really wanted to give them more than just the hair, more than just the outfits. I really wanted to be able to give them something that poured into their spirit and that grew their walk with God. And so that's kind of where I wrote the book, and that's where I really that was the goal of this book. I knew I had the audience. I knew I had this community of girls, but I kind of felt convicted like, "Well, what are you doing with it?" Like you have this platform, you have this group of girls that are following you. What are you doing with it? Like are you just giving them hairstyles? Are you just giving them like I wanted them to leave my social media account better than where they found like, better than what they came. I know that sounds crazy, but that's really that has become my goal in all of this is I really just want to be able to pour into the audience that I have, and I've really felt convicted, like, God was like, "What are you I've given you this platform. What are you doing with it? Are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for my kingdom, and are you doing it for the edification of others?" So that's kinda where I've tried to really shift it. I don't wanna go, like, cold turkey with it because that is the reason why people began following me, so I want to keep intertwining the hairstyles and stuff into that, and on my Sunday vlogs, I film myself getting ready, and then I try to incorporate a clip of, like, the song service, and I try to incorporate a clip of the preaching, and since I've done that, I've had so many people comment or even send me a DM because this is kind of a personal thing to put out in the open, but I've had so many people reach out, and they're like, "I grew up going to a church like this whenever I was a little kid, but I haven't yet, like, I kinda walked away from it, and seeing your video it just did something because it brought back all those memories, and I want that again, and I have had so many people comment that, and I have, like, even gone out of my way to try to find a church in their area, like, I'll message them back and be like, "Well, hey, where are you located?" And then they'll tell me, like, a region of where they are, and I've tried to, like, find them a church in that region and give them that pastor's contact, like, "Just go back, like, why are you" like, don't be afraid to go back because that's another thing, they'll be like, "Man, I'm afraid, like, I've made so many wrong choices since leaving, and I don't look the same, I don't sound like I'm just totally different." And I just try to encourage them, like, "That doesn't matter, just go back." Like, that's just the devil discouraging you and keeping you out of the house of God, like, "Just go back, it's not that serious, like, just go back." And I tried to, like, really encourage them, and I'm like, "Hey, when you do go back, message me, I wanna hear about your experience, like, I'm in your corner rooting for you." So, I really want that, like, out of all of this, like, I just want to see people, like, enter back into the kingdom of God and enter back into the church and just encourage them to really do that. So I've tried to incorporate more of the church scene into my videos with that hope.
The reach that we have through social media is unmatched. I feel like it
Yeah.
is a time more than ever that the church is able to thrive because
Mhm.
we're able to do something that we have never been able to do, and that is we are able to put God directly in their paths.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to just see them at the grocery store. You don't have to just see them somewhere walking around. It doesn't have to be someone in your town. It doesn't have to be someone that you know. All that they have to do is be scrolling TikTok and your videos are showing up in this is who you should follow. They're scrolling Instagram and their reels, and then all of a sudden there's a girl popping up saying, I haven't cut my hair in 28 years. Look
Yeah.
at me. All. And then they're clicking on it like, what? Who hasn't cut their hair? Or like you said,
Yeah.
away and they're like, that used to be me. I used to be like that. And they're clicking on it and they're seeing that. And so it doesn't have to be where we are only a witness around those that we see and that we know
Exactly,
and that are
yeah.
seeing us personally. It's we are able to be right in their hands
Mhm.
to be a witness and to be a light in the church to be able to be that, all these the church post or, about the services and things that are going on
Yeah.
now and the preached word of God that's going forth, the singing that people are making reels of. I'm like, more than ever, we are able to reach so many. And I feel like that's where the big revival that's coming to all over the
Absolutely.
world.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're able to tell them, like, hey, go to this church, go to that church. It's not just about you and about growing your church, it's about growing the kingdom of God.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I said, I do wanna reach, like, those who have maybe walked away from it or those who or don't even know, like, I can't tell you how many comments that I get, they're like, "Well, what kinda church is this?" Like, it's so foreign to them because they've never even been exposed to an apostolic church service or apostolic setting, so it looks so crazy to them, and their first response and their first reaction is, "Oh, that's a cult," or, "Oh, this is just crazy, like, I would be scared to death," and so I'm really trying to take any negative images that they have towards the church. I'm trying to, like, show them, like, "Hey, we are normal people." Like, I try to show them my everyday life, like, I'm not a holier than thou person. I'm not stuck up. I don't think I'm better than you. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm not part of a cult. Like, I'm just a normal mom, a normal wife with normal kids, normal daily activities just like you. Like, we're normal people. And I want them to see that and that be inviting to them. So if they are out in public, say their local church is outreaching, they see a woman that looks like me, they're not afraid to approach that person, or when that apostolic lady or apostolic man approaches them and says, "Hey, come to my church," like they're outreaching, I don't want them to think, "Oh, well, they're just rude," like, "Oh, I follow a girl like that on TikTok. I know, okay, so you're nice, you're normal." Like, that's what I'm trying to do, and there's so much church trauma and church hurt that I have seen, especially on the TikTok side of things. People are just so quick to comment like, "Oh, I'm so glad I walked away from that because I was just traumatized," and all of these things, and my heart really just goes out to those people because I have not had a traumatizing experience. I've never been spiritually abused, and so I want to show them like, "Hey, what you experienced is not the norm, and I'm sorry." Like, I really try to express my genuine, like, empathy and compassion for them and be like, "Look, I'm so sorry that that is what you have experienced, but I promise you, not every church is like that, not every person is like that, and give it another chance. Like, go find you another church, just give God one more chance. What do you have to lose?" Like, I really try to, like, bring that out in people because it's just so hard, and like I said, we kinda get, like, the cult rep or whatever, and I can't blame people for commenting that because it is so foreign to them, and it's so foreign that it looks strange, it does look scary, so I just try my best to, like, just show that we are normal, that we're okay, that you're not gonna get a snake thrown at you if you come to our church, you know? So, I don't know, I really try to reach the outside world, but at the same time, I really want to show the young apostolic girls who are questioning, like, "Is this for me?" Like, I'm in bondage because I have the standards that I follow, or the world looks so appetizing to people, and I just want that young apostolic girl that's watching, like, if I stay true to God, if I stay the path that God would make every crooked path straight, He will give me the desires of my heart, and if I stay this path, I could have a lifestyle like hers, like, I could have that family, I could have that faithful husband, I can have that beautiful life, and I really want to encourage any young lady that is listening to this today, like, stay the path, keep your spirit right, stay faithful, and God will truly give you the desires of your heart. I know the world looks appetizing, but this lifestyle is fun. I'm living my best life. Like, I love living the apostolic way and the apostolic lifestyle. So I know it can be discouraging as a young teenager, but just stay with it because I promise you the rewards are so wonderful.
They truly are. I pray that often whenever I'm at prayer meeting and I'm praying and I tell the Lord, I said, I love this way.
Yeah.
Love this life that you have allowed me to live. The mercies of God that has given me such a wonderful life. God, I love it. And
Yeah.
I want you to take it from me. I don't want to take it for granted. It's the best life.
Absolutely.
It truly is. And we're showing other
Mhm.
people just by the life that we live, like you said, the faithful husband, the children, the life that God has given, the blessings of God. Don't be
Mhm.
ashamed of those. Be grateful.
No.
Be
Yeah.
thankful. Show, hey, God had mercy. We could have done
Yes.
anything. We could have went down any path, but we stayed with him and he sends his blessings to us.
Absolutely.
I love that you have written this book for young apostolic ladies. That is just so absolutely incredible to me. Where can somebody find this? I know you had mentioned it's on Amazon. Where can somebody find you and where can they find your book? And also, if you're listening to this, I will definitely leave all these links in the show notes as well. So you can just go right on there and hit the link.
So I have 3 social media accounts right now. I'm on Facebook as Mandy Bowen, TikTok, MBS Hair with Style, and Instagram is MBS Hair with Style. I do have a YouTube channel, but I have really slacked on posting on there, so I only have, like, a few tutorials, and that's, like, it. But, you should be able to search on YouTube Mandy Bowen or MBS Hair with Style, and something of mine should pop up. As far as the book goes, you can find it on Amazon. Just search Mandy Bowen Devotional, or it's actually called, A Christian Girl's Guide. So you could find it, you could just search that or just search Mandy Bowen Devotional and that will pop up. Or you can go on truthbookcompany.com and you can find it there as well.
I am definitely going to get on there and order some for my girls. I cannot wait for them to do that devotion. That is incredible. I love that you are doing that, doing such amazing things. Like I had mentioned earlier, you guys, she is doing all kinds of things for the kingdom of God. And every single one of the things that we all do and that we're all called to does not look the same. That's the
Mhm.
whole point of the Unashamedly You podcast is to encourage you to go after your God given calling. And if your God given calling is showing up on social media with these absolutely fabulous outfits and hairstyles like Mandy, or if it is going out and doing something different, maybe more on a private level, or God's calling you to something else, or He's calling you to a foreign country. He's calling all of us to something. And just listening to that call and heeding that call is exactly what we are called to do is to listen to his voice and to go after those things unashamedly. Thank you so much for everything that you have shared on this podcast. I knew that it would be so inspiring. And before we go, if you would share one last thing that you would want to leave with the Unashamedly You community today.
Oh gosh, I gotta boil it down to just one thing. That's really hard.
You can share several. It's okay.
Okay, okay, kind of just going back to what I've already said. Like, if you are a younger teen girl listening to this, please do not be conformed to the world. Please do not fall for the trap of the trend. Just live your life. Live your godly apostolic life and be proud of it. Live it unashamedly. Post it. Post the content. Show the world that you are so godly proud to be who God has called you to be. If you are a young mom that is listening to this, I know it is so easy to kind of lose our identity in a way to our children. You become so and so's mom, but honestly, don't look at it like that. You are just motherhood is a calling, motherhood is a ministry in itself, and God has called you to do that ministry. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's discouraging. You feel like you're just kind of stuck in a rut on the hamster wheel of life, going and doing all the things, but God is proud of you. Cut yourself some slack. You are doing a wonderful job. Keep going. Keep showing those babies a godly lifestyle. Keep pouring into them. And in return, God will also pour into you and He will give you the strength to face each new day.
Thank you so much again for being on the Unashamedly You podcast. It has been an honor to have you and to share this space with you today. I know that so many are going to be encouraged and blessed by having you on.
Well, thank you so much again for having me. I'm so honored to be a guest on here, and I will tell all of my followers to follow you because you have so many wonderful ladies on your podcast, and it would be just such an awesome tool for other women to use if they were to follow you and listen to your podcast.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for listening to another episode on the Unashamedly You podcast. I pray that this podcast encouraged and motivated you to become your very best self. If you have a topic that you would love addressed, or if you know someone where you would like to hear their story shared, go to unashamedlyu.com and contact us, or send us a message through social media. We love tackling those topics and featuring the guests that you all refer. If this podcast blessed or helped you in any way, we would be delighted if you would leave us a review over on Apple or Spotify. Go be unashamedly you.